Hey everybody, devotional for you today. I am going to dive into the book of Second Corinthians, and we're going to read the first chapter, and we're going to go to verses 8 through 11. And I'm going to warn you right off the bat, this is not the happiest of devotions, um, and I think that that is a good thing because we're not always in the happiest of places. So I just wanted to kind of say that before we get going, that you don't end with this going, "Wow, Pastor Nick, that was a bummer." Yeah, it kind of is, okay, but there's a point to it all, and we'll get there in just a second. But Second Corinthians 1, 8 through 11. We do not want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, of the affliction we experienced in Asia, for we were so utterly, unbearably crushed that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt that we had received the sentence of death, so that we would rely not on ourselves, but on God who raised the dead. He who rescued us from so deadly a peril will continue to rescue us. On him we have set our hope that he will rescue us again, as you also join in helping us by your prayers, so that many will give thanks on our behalf for the blessings granted us through the prayers of many. Okay, this is a letter of Paul to the Corinthians, and it is one that he's kind of telling them what's been going on in his life. It's the second letter that he's written to the Corinthians, and he's talking about that he went to Asia and failed. Okay, they went there and tried to set some stuff up outside of where they had been in the past, and they failed. And this kind of discouraging moment, he wanted to share with them because he wanted people to know. He wanted people to know that hey, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. And the word that he uses here, I really like. For we were so utterly, unbearably crushed that we despaired of life itself. There's two words here that really mean that you think mean the same thing, but they're really not. One is despair and one is discouragement. Okay? In life, we can't help for discouragement to happen. Discouragements happen all the time. Something doesn't go the way that you want it to go, the way you hoped it would go. That's the nature of the fallen world. That, I got word this week of a discouraging thing that I was hoping for a different outcome. It discouraged me for the day. The difference between discouragement and despair is discouragement is something when something happens to you. Despair is the attitude that you take and that you hold on to over a long period of time. Paul here had a discouraging moment. He went to set up this church, this following, these people in Asia, and something there happened. They were basically sentenced to death, and God Himself, and he believes that it happened so that God Himself would be proclaimed and not Paul. Okay, he's putting a good spin on it, but he was in despair. He held on to a really negative attitude about the discouragement that he felt. And it wasn't until he understood that maybe this happened so that God would be glorified and not me in what he was doing did he finally find himself able to pull himself out of that despair. Okay, people, we've had a rough 10 months. And when we come up on that, I saw someone call it a quarantine anniversary is looming for us when this all kind of started and we were first shut down. We're coming up on a year. Those of you that have made it through this year, I am so proud of you. You can't believe how difficult this has been. And even surviving this time has been something that has rocked a lot of people and has been really, really hard. So for you that are still watching, that are still with us here today, you're doing great. You've had a discouraging time, but you haven't let despair set in. I want to encourage those that feel that maybe they're in a point of despair. Discouragement happens. Despair is when we let those things that happen get to us and we hold on to them for too long. Let those things go. Because just because something doesn't work out the way that you want it to doesn't mean that there's not a plan and that God's not in control. No, sometimes it's not the way you want it to be. Sometimes it's not the way you hope it will go. But you got to trust in your God, hope in Jesus Christ. That this world is set up to glorify Him, and that if we follow the plan and we are the followers that we need to be, that ultimately God's will be done. and that he will be glorified in this earth through the life that we live. That's my prayer. When things start to get despairing, when I start to feel that weight of the world crush down on me, I have to remember, and I hope that all of you remember, that ultimately in the end, I hope that when all is said and done for me, and I stand at the end of my life, I hope that the life that I lived for Christ will be a life that glorified him on this earth. I think that's the hope that combats the despair. So bring on the discouragement. More things may happen. I hate to say that. I wish I could give you a more positive message, like I said to start with. I wish this was a happier message I could give you here, but discouragements happen. What I can tell you is that you are able to stop the despair from getting into your life by focusing on what's really important, and that is the life and the love of Jesus Christ. Hey, thank you guys as always for watching. Continue to share the videos. I appreciate all of you reaching out to me. These videos are getting more and more shares on Facebook. I love that. Keep doing it. It's the only way that we're really going to grow the church during this time. And I hope that those people that are watching this know that we care about you, that this ministry is out there for you. And I just hope that you find Christ through what you're seeing here. And if anyone has anything they need, talk about, chat with, difficult things, let me know. I'm here to help, and I know that the church is here to help. Reach out to me any way that you can. I will be the first to answer the call. Thank you all for watching. God bless.